Yogi Amrit Desai, fondly called Gurudev, is one of the earliest yoga gurus who brought yoga to the West in 1960. He has been repeatedly honored by world-renowned authorities and organizations for bringing the inner dimension of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga to the West. His teachings have ignited the fire that began the initial renaissance of the inner dimension of yoga in the 20th century. Over the last 60 years, Gurudev has founded 3 yoga centers. One of them, Kripalu Yoga Center, became the largest yoga center in North America with 350 full-time resident volunteer staff. More than 12,000 yoga and yoga nidra teachers have been trained in the yoga system he has developed. They teach in more than 45 countries around the world. For his outstanding contributions to the global yoga community, Gurudev has been recognized by world-renowned authorities and organizations with many prestigious accolades, including the titles International Grand Yoga Master, Doctor of Yoga, Maharishi, and World Yoga Master. He has been awarded the Global Service Award, the Patanjali Award, and the Vishwa Yoga Ratna, presented by the President of India. For more information, please visit amritg.org or amrityoga.org. Enjoy today's episode. And welcome to the Escape Hatch to Wellness. And today's very special guest is Gurudev Sri Amrit Desai, who today will be talking about the yoga of relationships. And so welcome, Gurudev. Jai Bhagwan.
So nice to be with you, and nice to be with everyone who is with us, because this is the yoga of relationship. We want to start it right here.
We absolutely do. And as I was reflecting for a moment, is that when it comes to relationships and the impact of your teachings have had on not just me, but my mother, my husband, and even our children. And so you have a multi-generational family who has benefited from the extensive research that you have conducted over the years with all the people and lives that you've touched.
Thank you. Because that's such a very important topic, because everything that you experience in your life is all about relationship. That begins with your relationship with yourself, and then it becomes with others. So that everything is about relationship. What we call spiritual or practical, it all happens through the medium of relationship.
Absolutely. And I brought your book with me, so I have it all tabbed. And for as many tabs as I have, I don't think we have enough time with this meeting, but I would be happy to invite you to come back again. But I thought, if you're okay with it, if I took some quotes or even read some of the passages that you had written, and was in 2010, actually, that you wrote the book, Yoga Relationships. And if I could read some of those to you and then give you the opportunity to reflect on them or expand upon them, would that be okay?
That would be perfect.
Okay. So the first one I have is, all relationships are based on the relationship we have with ourself, and ultimately the self, and the self is a capital S in that statement. So my question for that is, that's to someone who's not in a yogic environment, that sounds a bit egotistical, that we are to have a relationship with ourself first and foremost, and then with the big S of the self. Can you expand upon that?
Yes. So this is very important to understand, is that you relate to others, and who in you is relating to others is done with what is your relationship with yourself. It is, in other words, you cannot relate to other without you, how you are relating to yourself. Like, for example, if I like to move everything fast and I'm in a hurry, I don't like to waste any time. I'm very organized. So in other words, whoever I work with, I will see that, make sure that they are also moving with my speed. In other words, my perception of them comes from how I am with myself. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why it is how I relate to myself, how I am with myself, how do I interact consciously or unconsciously, habitually, mechanically or consciously. All those areas are the mediums through which I look at other people. So no matter where I go, what I do or who I am with, I'm looking through that mind that is related to how I am with myself.
So going back to the example that you used for the person who is very on the go, moving, and that their perception of others would be the same type of personality, doesn't that set you up for expectations and possibly failed expectations? Because not everybody is like that.
Right. So that is why there are people who are particular personality, like go-go personality, and if they work with people, they are always expecting them to move like they move with themselves, with the same speed, with same kind of. So their expectation comes from how they are relating with themselves. That's the best explanation. I expect you to be like I would like to be with myself.
And then if the other person is not like that, then we judge that person same as we would judge ourselves. Correct?
Right. Exactly. So that's the next step. So when you judge yourself, when you do not move with the same speed, you would judge the other if they don't move with your same speed. So these people who are on the go, they are also very judging themselves when they miss it, when they are a little slow, they made a little mistake, they were a little disorganized, somebody disturbed them from doing that. Therefore, they are as disturbed as they are disturbing to themselves.
And when you say disturbing to themselves, are you talking about the mind and that constant chatter and how to, I guess, negotiate with that inner dialogue?
Right. They're constantly, everything that I see right now in interaction with you is how I have pre-programmed myself. All my life, I have been learning how to interact with others, and the manner in which I interpreted that goes into my self-image and self-concepts, and that I use again to interact with outer world.
Which really complicates things a lot.
This is why most people do not know what I expect from other comes from how I expect it from myself. And if I cannot provide it, I want to find somebody who can provide it to me. I want to get married to them. That's a lover I want, who can fulfill my expectation that I couldn't fulfill to myself. I want to find somebody who can do it for me. So then, if you find somebody who can just, it looks like they are going to fulfill your expectations, and then you just say, I want to get married to you. That's what I have been looking for. Why? Because they couldn't get married to themselves. They could not accept themselves. And their failed expectations of themselves are now expecting to come from the others.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, what you're saying is that for all the things that I perceive myself not to be complete with, I perceive myself to not be whole. So then I look for another person to fill those gaps in me in order to make me feel complete.
That is why, so every person who feels incomplete within themselves, which is called loving yourself, accepting yourself. If you cannot do that, you want to find somebody who would accept you. And that's what you fall in love with. And you will not fall in love with who just rejects you right off the bat. You say bye-bye right from the beginning.
When you mentioned acceptance, go ahead, Gurudev. I'm sorry. I was going to ask.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So when you mentioned acceptance, I would like to share something very cute with you, because one thing that I learned in the 3 years I spent with you at the Amrit Yoga Institute was self-acceptance. So when we moved to Naples and I started teaching Yoga Nidra at the hospital, I was using the intention of I accept myself as I am. And I had so many students come to me afterwards and say, would you mind changing the intention, because I can't accept myself as I am, because I can't do this, I can't do that. My husband says this, my children say that. So can you change that intention?
That shows how that importance is very, very important in having relationship, first of all, with yourself and then with other as well. So that is the most difficult thing. And when people cannot get to accept themselves and they're expecting to come from other, then they say when you find they cannot accept you, then you blame them. So self-blame becomes blame to others. So shame becomes blame, blame becomes shame.
Wow. And how long does it take until those hormones begin to dissipate? Like when you meet someone that for the first time and you feel that the chemistry and the hormones are working, but that wears off after a certain amount of time. Do you have any idea how fast that dissipates when we begin to shame and blame?
So then something you said is very significant. The hormones plays a very important, significant role in the attraction that happens. So we call relationship. So your ego, your mind and others' mind are not yet in relationship. Your body and others' body, the male and female, the hormone to hormone attraction is happening. That is called sexually based attraction. In yoga, it is called subconscious. It is built into us. So that is not man-made attraction. That is the inborn attraction toward the opposite sex. And that is all human beings are born with an urge to merge. Means the positive negative polarity is attracted to negative. Male is attracted to female. And this is very natural. But when that is very high, that attraction is very high, the separation that exists in each one of them, between them and themselves, it gets hidden. Like I'm here and my hormone attraction is higher than this. Hormone attraction is higher than this. This remains hidden. So once you enter into loving relationship, it looks like it's working. Why? Because it's an opposite polarity is working. And the individual who is suffering from separation from the source within, they feel like, oh my God, I found it. But it is not happening within. It's happening hormonal level, externally, from male to female, female to male. Because hormonally, when opposite polarity come together, you experience the extraordinary love of union. In union, separation disappears. So, and that's why we call it love. In love, two disappear into oneness. So we are actually looking for love that unites. But this is the sexual love that unites temporarily. That's a problem. So we are looking for how to create the relationship that is not so temporary, because temporary relationship is an ongoing problem. Temporary solution is ongoing problem. Did you hear that? Most people don't know that. They are ongoingly trying to solve the temporary problem by temporary to temporary to temporary. So, what is yoga of relationship? It's permanent solution between you and yourself. So, if you use external relationship to see where your inner conflicts are hidden, so then if you get into relationship, then ask other person that anything that comes up in me against you because you did not fulfill my expectations, I will let go of my expectation of you, and I will let go of my expectations within myself. When you let go of your expectation of the other, you are working with the one part of you that is separated from the source of love as expectations that you could not fulfill. You could not connect to the love within. Why? Because you had expectations of yourself. So most people are living in self-rejection. But that comes up in the form of expectations that does not get fulfilled. That's called self-rejection.
So then when someone that we love triggers us, for example, a husband and wife get into an argument about something, that either she gets mad at him or he gets mad at her. So it's in those moments of when you begin to feel yourself going into reaction, do you go to the source? Do you turn, instead of going externally, looking at the other person for why you're angry and blaming them for it, is to actually look at yourself in the mirror, to go within, to see what it is within you that you perceive to be not enough with, and then instead you go to the source versus looking externally for that answer.
So let me explain this in a slightly different way. So ordinarily, two people are attracted to each other because they are seeking and expecting acceptance to come from the other. And when the acceptance doesn't come from the other, they reject the other. So do not reject other, except let go of your expectations instead. Then you are doing inner work to go to the source of love rather than seeking love from external resources.
So in those moments of where you're going to reject the other person, it is almost a way of rejecting yourself or rejecting the self.
Exactly. Yeah, it came from rejecting yourself. Now it is showing up outside. Why? Because you were seeking it from outside. Therefore, rejection comes from outside.
I just had a thought of something made manifest, of our perceived shortcomings they manifest in our relationships with other people. From what's internal, this internal angst becomes external as we work in a relationship, whether it's with a spouse, children, family, co-workers, is all of our perceptions come into reality. We actually create situations in like a perfect storm where those lack of comes up in front of us for us to be able to work through it.
Right. So basically, each person is carrying the unresolved memories of the past relationships. Unresolved means it worked and it failed to work. If it worked, the gestalt will be complete. There will be no memory. But memory means incomplete gestalt waiting for it to be resolved in future.
Oh.
So that is my memory. So what I'm saying is each person who is in relationship with other is carrying their own unresolved memories of the past, of their love life, family life, work life, and social life. Everything that was unresolved is what we carry. And today we call it trauma, we call it painful memories, we call it abusive memories from the parents, with children, with boss, work, everywhere. So that's all. And then, because we are seeking from outside, we were the victim of the reverse effect. What we are seeking, the opposite comes when you seek from outside. And when you learn how to find it from the love inside, it is called source. Outside is called resources. So yoga is how to look from the source of love, which is God within us. And that source is unconditional love. So outside has conditions. If you love me, I will love you. If you can scratch my back, I will scratch your back. You can't access it yourself. So we have a business deal. It's an exchange, it's not love.
You know, when you mentioned that it's almost like the ghosts of the past come into every present relationship, so that it's not just two of you in the relationship, it's every person who we've come in contact, who we have unfinished business, so to speak, that they come along ghosts into the relationship.
All the characters, all the roles that you played with your parents, husband, children, wife, whatever role you played, all the experiences that were loving turned separating are in your memories. So the event has been finished, but the memories are not finished. So the yoga says these memories are no different than the memories of the dreams you had yesterday. When you wake up from the dreams, you saw these are all false memories. Yoga says, be awakened from the memories of the past, and you will find they have no meaning. They are just, I made it up. So yoga says, do not reawaken that memories will be awakened by association, no matter where you go, what you do, or who you are with. When it is awakened, you have to drop it. If you are awake, you drop the past. That is called awakening in the present moment. In the present moment, past does not exist.
So in the practice of yoga or yoga nidra, when the memories of the past come up, then if there is to be a goal, the goal is to disconnect from the emotional attachment from the memory, so it just becomes a memory, not an emotional recreation of the original situation.
Exactly. Situation. It's not recreation of the reactive memories. In other words, most people, they have very painful memories of the past. And then when they come up, they are triggered by someone. They are not created by someone. It was triggered by association. So that memory, whatever you think about that person, it's coming from your memories. So yoga says, just do not react to the person who is present. Don't expect that person to solve your problems because they are the memory problems. Just withdraw from the memory. That is called meditate, and withdraw from their thoughts that come from the memories. And memories are solved. That's simple. That simple it is.
So why do you think that people hold on to certain memories more than others, whether they're good, bad, happy, or sad? Why do they keep on perpetuating that memory?
That's a very important question. The only reason why I perpetuate that memory is because that memory holds two parts of it. One that you fell in love with, got addicted to, it was like your tranquilizer. And then same thing, same memory holds the memory of oh my God, he is my worst enemy. He destroyed my life. He took away my freedom. He abused me. So memories are of two kinds. So you keep the memory so that you can find the positive part in future and avoid the negative part in future. This is very deep. This is very deep. I haven't seen it explained like this anywhere in the field of psychology. These are my own realizations from the practice of yoga. So why do we keep memory? Because we want to find the positive memories in future, and we want to avoid the fear of the negative memories coming in my way in future.
But in doing all of that, it keeps us from living our lives. It keeps us from being present to what's right in front of us and making conscious decisions.
But that people, if they understand what I said, then they'll say, oh my God, I am just trying to solve the memories that are already dead. They have no life. Until I give life by identifying with it and say, I want the positive, I'm afraid of negative. Until then, they have no life.
But if they want only positive and are trying to avoid the negative, then they're trying to manipulate their lives and live by an unrealistic expectation. And
so what they are doing is they're trying to find the positive from the other. So, and that they cannot find because their outside again will become the same as it was in the past. You will look for the positive and the negative will come with it. As long as you look from the outside. That is why yoga says, yoga begins with meditation, witnessing your thoughts that come from the old memories of success and failure. It worked and didn't work. Observe both of them, and when you witness and you withdraw from it, you are coming back into the present moment. In present, there is no past, there is no future. You don't have to solve it, you have to know the secret, how to do it.
Well, let me ask you this. If someone says to you, all I want is just to be myself again, wouldn't the question then be, who are you?
You are the soul, you are love in disguise. You are God in disguise. That is why they say God is within you. That's what you do not know who you are. And you are mixed up all your life thinking that memory is who I am. So withdraw from who I am not, so you come back to who I am. That is, and it is called I am that I am. I'm not good, I'm not bad. I'm not successful, I'm not failure. I'm not up, I'm not down. Those are the opposites that get created when you live out of the memories of the past.
So do you think that people fear knowing who they truly are because they're so attached to the labels of who they think that they are, that they're afraid that they might see something different about themselves because they are so critical of themselves and so judgmental?
No, this is about when they witness their thoughts, they know they are not their thoughts. Therefore, they are not judging themselves at all. They are seeing that their thoughts that come from their ego mind is who they are not. So it's not judging yourself good or evil. I'm for or against, and then you are free. So this is the secret. This is why I say the body, the book of secrets. In body, all these opposite memories are built into the energy blocks in the body and memory blocks in the brain. So entire yoga is how to remove the masking of the ego. So what I say is, masked ego is God, and God is unmasked ego.
never heard you say that before, and that just really hit me profoundly. That's really something to bring into meditation and really feel my way through that. So thank you for that one.
Yes. Right.
Well, I have something interesting when we were talking about love, and you also mentioned the word addiction. You wrote, addictions are not only related to drugs or alcohol. We can become just as addicted to relationships that give pleasure and relieve us temporarily from pain or fear. We manipulate people and external conditions to provide and assure perpetual pleasure, success, and happiness. Inability to deal with life situations also results in dependency. Relationships can become a relief from stress, an easily attained gratification that is socially acceptable, and nobody will call it an addiction.
Right. So this is something, the relationship is for a drug, like acts like a drug. Because when you are in relationship, your internal noisy mind stops. And suddenly you feel like I'm a free person. Oh my God, she loves me and I think it comes from her or him. So when we think like that, we just then when we are together, we feel the nectar of that unites is flowing. But when there is a little threat that, oh my God, she's attracted to someone, the fear comes in. So it is bound to happen that way. No matter who you are in love with, that person is subject to change. They may like you, in the next moment they can hate you. That is possibility. It's not even an accident, it's regular happening. So that is called codependent relationship. So, and what you are depending on is for that person to give you what you are expecting, called codependence. If you just get married with a person and say, I will have no expectation from you, let's get married. If both say that, that's a perfect soulmate relationship.
Temporarily.
I know, temporarily, till they believe it is coming, till they have the sexual energy high enough, and that the separation doesn't show up.
So you mentioned the word nectar, and what I felt when you said that word was that when we practice self-love and self-acceptance, that nectar that we crave from the other person, we actually fulfill within ourselves. And then that is something that we bring into wherever we go. We carry it with us. We almost resonate with that love from the inside out, no longer craving it from the outside in.
Right. So that I can explain this way. When you are upset with yourself, where you are frustrated with yourself, actually your angry, fearful thoughts, they secrete the adrenaline. And then there is poison in your system. So it makes a poisonous, very bad relationship with yourself, between your body and your mind. Same thing when you love yourself. When something is working and you love yourself, all of a sudden the nectar begins to flow, and your brain pharmacy produces dopamine, melatonin, serotonin, and amrita, and all of a sudden you feel good.
Oxytocin, the happy hormone, they call it. That it's not just it's the body actually is geared to do this. And as you mentioned earlier, when you remove the mind and the mind's influence over the body will do its job naturally. It will heal itself organically without having to, have the mind tell us that things are supposed to be different than what they truly are.
So that is the whole practice, that almost people who live in separation from themselves, they are living in separation from the body first. So it is if you establish body-mind connection, you will feel more accepting of yourself naturally. It's actually most people, they reject themselves by eating too much, and then they love it and they hate it. They indulge in sex and they love it, they hate it. They work too much, they love it and they hate it. You see what I mean?
I do. And you know, when I teach yoga nidra, and I love the way that you structured how we move into yoga nidra in order to go beyond the mind. And we spend a lot of time on the body and with breath and with moving through the different parts of the body without judgment or without comment. And I have so many people come back to me so grateful for the opportunity to reconnect with their bodies, even something as simple as with their breath. They're so surprised because they didn't realize how disconnected they had become with the relationship they have with their own bodies over the years through external pleasures, you know, food, sex, alcohol, drugs, whatever. So it's a beautiful reminder of what a miracle the body is, and when you cultivate it through yoga nidra. And so I want to share that gratitude with you because it comes from my students all the time.
Right. You have learned so much, and that you are practicing and using, and then what I'm saying makes much more sense. But what you are asking is like, how can I share it with my students, so that if you have a better understanding, it comes from the information plus experience. So when you combine the two, you can help other people as well.
It becomes an innate wisdom. What I have, the time that we spent with you in the 3 years, and everything I learned from you, and you giving me the opportunity to practice and experience in your presence, and also in my relationships with, you know, my mom and my now husband. I really feel it, as it has transitioned into a deeper level in my body, is an innate wisdom that I return to time and time again as I continue, because practice is something, it's a moment to moment decision to practice and to be, you know, lovingly kind to yourself and accept and to be in love with yourself is something that is a moment to moment choice. And that as a result of spending that time with you.
It's moment to moment means in the present moment, all your past memories just simply disappear. You don't have to kill them. You can't kill them because they don't have life. So how do you let go of them? Understand what they are. They are false. They have no real substance. They are dead. And when you let go, just like you let go of the memories of the dream last night. I know it might be nightmare, or it could be you got married. Those memories, as soon as you wake up, you know they are false. This yoga says that as soon as you get awakened, not wake up, awakened from the memories of the past, you see they are all false. So what is yoga? Just being awakened in the present moment. So in the present moment, you see everything of the past is gone. It has no life until somebody triggers it and it comes back and you say, I am my memories. You give it a life again.
Oh, that's interesting. I am my memories and we give it life again. Wow. So every time you relive it, you continue to feed it and give it power, basically.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, here's something as an interesting quote from Yoga of Relationships that you said, "What you want in the end, you must have in the beginning." Can you expand upon that?
Yes. Most people do not know, if I have it in the beginning, why would I even try to go to the end? So what I say is, in the yoga practice, what you want in the end must be in the beginning. So what is in the end that you want? In yoga, the final stage is called samadhi. And samadhi happens when you enter now, 100% fully now. You have no past, you have no future. You are all in now, you are enlightened. That's the last stage. If you want to go to that stage, you have to begin with your first step that represents what you want in the last. So I explain it with this example. If you want a mango tree in the end, have the mango seed in the beginning.
Okay.
So when you plant the mango seed, means when you first step in the practice of yoga, you step into the present moment. Right away. Very first step, present moment. And then you just keep moving from present to present to present. That means what you have in the beginning, what you want in the end. In the end, that's what you want.
So if it's someone who, let's say, Gurudev, I need to lose 10 pounds. I want to be thin is my goal. Oh, I'll pause for a moment. So you put your microphone back on.
Yeah.
So for someone who has a simple goal, they want to lose weight. But how would someone who wants to lose weight have that in the beginning? Is it just the mindset of, I have lost the weight, and that's each day they live their lives as if they have?
So in the beginning, what they have to do is they have to, if they want to lose the weight, they have to sit in a very relaxed state. They enter into meditative state and move out of thinking that I'm too fat, I hate it, I have done many times, it hasn't worked, let go of such thoughts. Then allow yourself to descend into your feeling center. Into your feeling center, you feel like you have lost all the weight you wanted to lose, and you are slim, and there is a spring in your walk. You're feeling so good, you are flying with the beautiful, healthy, trim body. See if you can feel that way. If you feel that way, now you have in the beginning what you want in the end. Do that every day, and do the dieting.
It reminded me of a plastic surgeon back in the 60s, I think, was doing some amazing things with plastic surgery. And these people, though, it would be the day that the bandages would come off, and he would literally, take an ugly duckling and turn them into a beautiful swan. He would take the bandages off, and the people who had the surgery, who were now physically beautiful, could not see that when they looked in the mirror. They still saw themselves as they were before the surgery.
That's beautiful. I mean, that gives the example that when you see through the memories of the past, what is present you cannot see.
No.
That's what I'm teaching.
Isn't that insane, though, that you see yourself in the mirror every day and you cannot see that transformation because you are so limited by the labels that you've put on yourself for years, or things that have been said to you by other people, and carrying those memories around, that really can constrict how you live your life. It's just really...
That is what happens to people who suffer from, what is that called? People vomit and eat and...
Oh, bulimia?
Bulimia, yes. They have lost enough weight, but they cannot see that they have lost weight. So they keep doing bulimia.
Yep. You want to help people and just changing their mindset and, getting out of their minds and getting back into their hearts and just seeing themselves, as you said, as that trim person or as that loving person, however you want to be in the end, bring it into the present moment and be that now, not wait until, you perceive you have achieved your goal, and live a more fulfilled life now. It's just so important as a message that people need to hear and experience for themselves.
Right.
I have, the last one I have for you is non-attachment is love in action.
When you are attached to someone or something, what you are saying is that you don't change so that I can be in love with you. But if you change, I hate it. Because if I'm addicted, I don't want you to change. Did you see that? And you are going to change. This is human. This is natural. So,
exactly.
So that is the meaning.
But non-attachment still means that you love. It just means that you are not attached to an external source for that love and fulfillment, correct?
Right. You are not attached to what you expect. It may be fulfilled, it may not be fulfilled. I expect, but I let go of my expectation. If you cannot fulfill, then that is the beginning of relationship that would work.
Practice non-attachment, live in the moment, and experience love from the inside out, not the outside in.
Right.
Well, Gurudev, I want to thank you. The Yoga Relationships is available on the Amrit Kala website, and I'll put that information in the bottom of the video. And I also wanted to mention to the audience, one thing I love about the book is the simplicity of it, because people have written about love for thousands of years, from poets to musicians to psychologists, psychiatrists. There's so many words out there, but there's not always a solution of how to get there. And in this little book, there's some profound messaging in here that really can give someone the help that they need. And it's such a valuable resource that can help heal so much and transform so many lives. So you had a way of simplifying the message in such clear content that you don't have to read thousands of pages to get to the answer. And that's one of the things I love much about the book.
Thank you for sharing.
And then I also wanted to mention, you have also created a 10-day meditation, a quantum shift meditation e-course that's available on your website as well. Can you want to mention anything about
this? Is for solving any relationship problem that exists between you and yourself or you and the other. These meditations are very profound and powerful meditations. It allows you to go deeply relaxed state of deep meditation, like a pro, because I'm guiding it. Almost you enter it from the very beginning, because all problems that show up outside are the problems of your relationship with yourself.
For the 12,000 teachers that you've trained, and the 45 countries that have been touched by your teachings, and all the students who have come to you both throughout the years in Pennsylvania and in where you are in Ocala, and also at Kripalu, and the thousands and thousands and thousands of lives that you have touched, and all the lights that you have helped to polish over the years. And then in turn, those of us who are teachers who have had that blessing from you, for all the people that we go into the world and connect with. It's an amazing matrix of love and kindness that is available and helping people with their journey. And it couldn't have happened without you. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So nice to be with you, and nice to be with again.
I have missed you so much. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I share my love, my mom's love, and Nalene's love with you.
I give my love to them. Thank you.
Have a beautiful day. Jai Bhagwan.
Jai Bhagwan.